and tears. Theatre reflects life. It provokes thought, anger, sorrow, or helpless laughter. It can be profound, or it can be sheer entertainment. And in the shared experience with the rest of the audience, we find comfort. How did theatre evolve? The truth is, no one knows. Acting, however, is as much a part of human nature as loving or making war. Every day we act out to others the day's events. So, perhaps in primitive times, before the development of language, theatre fulfilled a need, the need to communicate to the rest of the tribe, where food could be found, for instance, and reenact in dumb show the hunt. This could have developed into a more ritualistic display, as primitive peoples recognized the need to celebrate the changing seasons and weather patterns, so crucial to their existence. Perhaps the rising sun may have been greeted with elaborate dances and incantations, repeated on a daily basis, and thus the play, a formalized expression of the spirit of a people, was born. The first evidence of formalized theatre, what we would recognize as a play, began to emerge in the 5th century BC in Athens. It developed from the ritualistic dance known as the dithyramb, a highly stylized and rhythmic group celebration of the gods. Once words were added, it was a logical step to expand this mode of worship to include a solo voice, set apart from the group, then 2 voices, and ultimately 3. Originally, the prime solo voice would be a poet's, and it was not long before the poet was using this format to express poetic opinions on the issues that affected 5th century Greek society, drawing on ancient legends and reinterpreting them for a contemporary audience. This was the birth of Greek tragedy. The first tragedy we know of was The Suppliants by Aeschylus, performed around 490 BC. The Greeks delighted in healthy competition, that's seen in their Olympic Games, and during the 5th century BC, festivals developed in Athens to worship the gods, and drama competitions were initiated to celebrate Dionysus, the god of wine, fertility, and growth. His legend, full of sensation, joy, and horror, made him a suitable figurehead for the drama. The growing band of poet-playwrights competed in these festivals for the winning of the laurels, before a panel of judges chosen from the people. It was a prolific time for the drama, for the competition consisted of 3 tragedies per chosen poet, followed by a comic afterpiece, usually a satyr play, a raucous release after the rigors of tragedy, led by the chorus in animal skins. Why did Greece become the cradle of European drama? The Greeks were the instigators of democracy, and Athens the school of Greece. It was a city of no more than 300,000 at this period, yet a large proportion of the citizens took an active interest in the running of their city. The decision-making body, or parliament, was not remote, but a mass public meeting, which all citizens could and did attend. Here public debate was respected and avidly listened to, so it is not surprising that there was a large and ready audience for the newly emerging drama, for rhetoric and argument, beloved of the Greeks, was fundamental to it. The poet-author would not only write the piece, but also compose the accompanying music, devise the dances, and direct the chorus and actors. There were 3 actors, who played all the parts between them, changing masks and costumes accordingly. The first actor, originally the poet himself, was known as the protagonist, and played the main part. Before the festival could commence, a torchlight procession carried the statue of Dionysus, which normally resided in his temple, into the theatre, to ensure his presence at the festivities. Dithyrambs celebrated the god. Choral speakers in groups of 10 competed for prizes. Sucking pigs were sacrificed, libations poured, symbolic giant phalluses displayed, and at the climax came the dramatic contest. There followed 4 days of drama, 3 of tragedies with their comic afterpieces, and 1 day of comedies alone, performed before an audience of 30,000. The judges.
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.